Alright, I think we are live now. Uh, Welcome to today's stream. This is the Ife Beast, a channel that celebrates the glory and power of the Nigerian nation. Now, do not forget, first of all, let's establish this fact that Nigeria as a nation is the most populous black nation on planet Earth. And out of every 10 black men you would ever see, whether in Australia, whether in Antarctica, whether in Asia, whether in Europe, whether in America, South or North, one is a Nigerian. And there is this very funny thing that a component of Nigeria will always say that when you go to a place and you do not see an Igbo man who is actually also in Nigeria, run away. Because we are everywhere. We are everywhere. But then, the mother nation is what we will be celebrating today. That Nigeria as a nation just had our elections, both gubernatorial and presidential, the House of Rep and Senate, at all levels, except maybe, of course, the third tier of government, which is the local government. Those elections were not held. We had elections, and there was a whole lot of drama, as expected. It is expected that a nation as large as Nigeria cannot hold elections without seeing those intrigues, drama, and a whole lot to talk about, a whole lot to take home from the Nigerian election. And so today we will be pouring cold water on the whole lot of these things. Do not forget, this is the Ife Beast. We are live, both on Facebook and on YouTube. Just type the name, the Ife Beast, and then we will be with you, both on Facebook and on YouTube. On Facebook, please follow us. Follow us. Every news you want to hear about Nigeria, about Nigerian politics, about the Nigerian nation is right here on the Ife Beast. And on YouTube, please share our video, like, comment, be a part of the discussion. There is something I always tell people when I have opportunity to talk with them is you say, oh, it's not my concern, I'm not a politician, I'm not going to talk, whatever it is. But the virtue of you being in this nation and part of this nation means that when you die and you meet your God, that virtue was not convenient, will not suffice. You will have to give accounts to God how and what you made of your nation. Not forgetting, if you're a Christian, and the Holy Book says, pray for the peace of Jerusalem, because it's in the peace of that Jerusalem that your peace will be guaranteed. So, we will be talking basically today about the 2023 general elections and the build-up to the elections, all the actors and all the sub-actors. In fact, I'm going to leave the sub-actors because that is a major topic for, say, tomorrow or next. We'll be talking about the sub-actors, all the war and the ground soldiers of politicians who play their role and what really is their role in every given election. You will see the picture scrolling on the screen. It's of Major Hamza Al-Mustafa. He does not need any introduction when it comes to the political terrain in Nigeria. At a point in time in this country, he was in sway. He was holding sway at Aso Rock, we know, under the late General Sani Abacha. May God rest his soul. This was his major key man in Chief Security Officer to the strong man of Nigeria, like we would like to call him. We just want his picture to stroll because he was also a presidential candidate in the just concluded election. Now, election has come and gone. As it is, from experience, it is time for the courts. And the lawyers are dusting their papers, rounding their holes and dotting their I's to adjudicate in courts and then see what it is. And as it is today, as it stands today, we have Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as our president in waiting, who's ready and gearing up to take over from Major General Muhammadu Buhari, who has been there for 8 years. He's been there in Nigeria for 8 years. And then Nigerians have been able to bite their fingers and snap their teeth for that 8 years. It's been from one issue to another. While we may want to count the gains, also, young people feel that the nation has retrogressed 100 paces compared to where Buhari met us, where he has taken us to. We cannot really point to one thing or another that this government has achieved for us as a people. Rather, we have seen an high level of migration of young people from this country, which we now term as Japa. Remember that everything in Nigeria is also cruise. We like to play with everything. We like to find joy, no matter how ungiven that situation is. They say when a Nigerian gets to a wall, no matter a brick and a concrete wall, he will find his way underneath or above it or within it, and then get across. So it is being a season of a delicate season, a very serious season for Nigerians and young people, because they felt they could not change the system. The system is built in such a way that you cannot change it, you cannot fight it, you cannot break it. You either allow yourself to be submerged under the water, or you get out of the stream. And so a whole lot of young people tried finding their way out of the country, sold their father's land, their family houses, borrowed money, did one or two things to actually travel out of the country and go seek greener pasture elsewhere. And that is a very sad thing for a country like Nigeria, a country as blessed as Nigeria, to get to that point, where young people have to abandon ship and seek rescue elsewhere. So those were the prelude to the 2023 elections. We remember in 2027, 2017, when this president ran for election, and it was his last tenure as allowed by the constitution. And young people tried to also change the system, but it was not going to be. But now that the president is going out, a new one is coming in. Young people felt, oh, come on. Mostly young Christians from the South. I want to categorically say that so that we will be clear on it. Young Christians from the South felt it is an opportunity for a drastic change. They want a whole change of people. At least that is what they thought they wanted to do. A change from the norm, a change from the whole Babaringa and the Agbada. They needed someone who is new to the system, someone who is fresh to the system, probably a young person. I mean, given that it has been said that between 55 to 65% of Nigerian population are young people, and so it's an abnormally for old people who should be retired, to be running the nation. They felt Nigeria should not be Aso Rock should not be a retirement house. So those were the preludes to the election, and Nigerians became divided at both sides. It was so intense. Yours sincerely was also part of one or two movements, and I cannot tell you, I won't be able to tell you the fury. I didn't know Nigerians could be that, I don't want to call it, I want to use a word to coin it, can be that angry at another man's choices. I mean, people like Reno Omokri, a man I respect so much. I'm also his follower on Facebook. Can't retell and recount what they went through and their families, during that election. And well, that is a topic for another day. Yours sincerely, in fact, my photographs and the photographs of my family was actually downloaded from my Facebook page, and was peddled online. And a lot of things were said about me. I had friends who blocked me, who till today, well, I don't know. So. That is gone, but that is not the reason for this podcast. The reason for this stream today is to actually go through the process and then try and highlight why there was so much pent-up emotions. The emotions were so palpable that one could feel it. You could feel it. And the emotions had too many sides to it. You as a political analyst, you can look at it and say, is this really an agitation? Is this really a, a, a genuine drive towards a sustainable change? Is the yearning for change? In fact, it had too many colorations, and we cannot really get to the bottom of this except we really go through the process, and that is first of all looking at all the candidates and displaying them as we want to do on this stream today. Please get your popcorn, as we've said in the description. Get your popcorn, and then let us go through this stream as it is. In the prelude to this election, according to the Nigerian Constitution, all political parties are to hold their primary elections. And then it was from the primary elections we started seeing a certain given hatred towards a particular candidate. Who, well, by the grace of God, actually is the president in waiting. They said he was not going to win the primary elections of the All Progressives Congress, the APC. We saw so many intrigues that night. We saw people who felt the presidency didn't want him to emerge, and then they wanted the Senate president, and then there were a whole lot of stuff peddled on the internet, and a whole lot of feelers, a whole lot of body languages that was felt. But then, whether you want to accuse him of the sheer raw dollars as was peddled across the internet, videos shown to buttress their points that dollars was shared during the APC's primary elections, the fact is he emerged as the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress. That was the first. What I want to say is money politics is cancer in Nigeria. Money politics, power politics is a cancer in Nigeria. The inability to accept defeat is a cancer in Nigeria. We may just look at it like, oh, it is the normal thing in Nigeria. It is a normal thing in life. People don't want to lose. But I do believe that losses is a force in life. It teaches you how to appreciate victory. Because by the time you just think it's politics, oh, it is politics, oh, it is the big man, it's the wealthy man, people up there, leadership. But you see, this trickles down to the smallest dot of Nigerians. We hate to lose. We hate to lose. And so we do whatever it takes to succeed or to win, no matter what it costs us. And that is why you see a whole lot of fault lines across institutions, because a Nigerian will never accept loss no matter what it takes. You see our religious sector, our judiciary, it's all there. We can mess up one institution because we want to succeed in another institution. We can model up one institution because we want to succeed in another institution. And that itself is what, number one, I feel, has led us to this point where it becomes so difficult to get very little things right. I said somewhere that it is ungodly for us to believe that there are no good leaders amongst us as Nigeria. We have great leaders, great men. But what we need to do is to work on our mentality. We need to. Our mentality needs an overhauling. That has affected a whole lot of things in this country. And that showed vividly in this election that even till tomorrow, the internet space is so unhealthy. It's so unhealthy that, according to the president in waiting, he cannot even open his Facebook page right now. Because, what's the Time magazine lady who was bold enough to elect or to say that Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu, the president in waiting for Nigeria, as one of, I think, one of the 100 most influential people on earth, who was so abused and bamboozled that she had to lock up her Facebook page. So, but that is not the topic for today. In fact, that is a topic that I must really work on, and then we have to gather together and talk about it, because whether we like it or not, we are brothers and sisters. And in a matter of 4 years, leadership again would have gone full circle, and will we be at this point again wanting to elect a new leadership? Now, before the 2023 election, it was clear that it was a time the eastern part of this country produced a president. It was very clear. And then I feel us from the north felt it was time for power to shift to the south. Now, they didn't care whether it's going to go to the south or to the north or to the west, and because the country is shedding through seven geopolitical zones, and well, we in the south, we have the south-south, we have the southeast, we have the southwest here. They said, okay, south, it is your time. However you get somebody to come represent you, whether you are going to kill yourself to provide that person, that's not a concern. It is your turn. And so they threw it open, and number one was Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu, who is from the southwest, was under the ruling All Progressives Congress. And then we had a couple of people in the opposition. The People's Democratic Party, the PDP, had people like Rivers State Governor Wike, Yesom Wike, the caterpillar of the South. And we had the Labour Party's presidential candidate, Peter Obi, the former governor of Anambra State, also running, and they were all in PDP. And feelers there was that for I, as a person who is not a PDP man and hardly am a party man, I felt that naturally the PDP was going to evolve a way to ensure that a much younger candidate, maybe someone in the ilk of Obi or Wike, will come up. But Wike, for who he is, if you are used to Nigerian politics, is a caterpillar. I think he stylishly pushed, what's his name now? Peter Obi out, and then Peter Obi had to leave, and ended up with the Labour Party. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Even the Yesom Wike could not hold the tethers together, because I used to say that, pray God, that in the day that you come to the village square to dance, that extraterrestrial powers don't come and dance. So when it is your turn, you will have your own mate to fight with. We had someone again like Atiku, who has been running and failing and running and failing, come again. Despite the fact that it was clear, crystal clear, like the morning sun, that it was the turn of the South to produce a president come 2023, he still powered his way. No thanks to the intrigues of his brother from Sokoto, Tambua, and then Wike himself was shown the same ticket that he showed his brother Peter Obi, and both of them were dealt with the PDP. Now, being taken out of PDP, Obi went to Labour. But Wike did not leave Labour, did not leave the PDP. He wanted to be in the PDP because he said, I have been in this party, I will be in this party. That nobody can show me the way out of the party. So, see, the intrigues built so much that it became. I am sure there were families where I heard of a family where the husband voted for Labour and the wife voted for APC, and after the voting, the husband asked the wife, then who did you finally vote for? He said APC, and he gave her a slap in public. It was as bad as that. Families were torn in two, friendships scattered for life, and I just pray that this incoming president will understand the trust that Nigerians have in him, and the weight of the leadership that has been placed on his shoulders, and the sacrifice that was paid for his election, and do what he should do. In fact, and do it right. So I don't want to spend so much time talking about this. I just want to go straight to our stream today, which are the political parties and how it all panned out. So because we had political parties across, I think we're just going to mention 18 or thereabouts on this stream, and we're going to be talking about the presidential candidates and how they actually affected or how they did not affect the eventual victory of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I know that the case is still in the courts, and the judges are still talking about it, but we in public, we still want to whip up public opinion and then be able to understand how we got here. It is very important. Why? Because a man who does not know where the rain starts beating him will not know where it should stop. Where it should stop. If I want to be the voice of the courts, I will say we are all brothers. No victor, no vanquish. We have a nation to build. We have majority of young people to attend to take care of. It is not who is there. If I want to really apologize to, say, someone like Peter Obi, who is really not taking any of this, I will say, okay, Peter Obi, join the government of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You have a whole lot to give to the young people of this country. Why not become CBN governor? You can become the Minister for Finances. Immediately you agree. You tell us in public opinion. In fact, we will start pushing for it. It is no longer business as usual. Our life is at stake. We understand how many young people have left this country, how they even got money. In fact, do you know now that to go to the UK, one of the easiest visas is school, and you are going to spend, if I'm not wrong, between 5 to 6, 7 million just to Jagba. What you are going there to do, you don't even know. And I have friends that left last year, they still don't have a job right now. So it is no longer convenient for us to want to just hide the truth or speak with half lips. Some of us have children in this country. Even if we want to Jagba, we don't even have the money to Jagba. So it's either we change the narrative or we die believing in a lie. So that was the stage for the 2023 elections. Young people, not forgetting that there was this unaddressed grievance carried over from the NSAS protests. I don't want us to forget that. So it was like young people said, okay, fine. You are going to do us what you do to us in this NSAS, but we are waiting for election. Election with our PVCs, we are going to make the change that we desire. So that we are waiting. So, election started. The first party that we are going to talk about today is the Accord Party. The Accord Party. Why? Because there were things that young people were really looking at in the elections. They were looking at age, how old is the president supposed to be? I mean, a president that is 70 years, how will you understand a 25 years old guy? I mean, these are two different generations. A lot of, like 5 decades difference from these two guys. They don't understand. There's no way they will meet halfway. You know, while you are talking about mega electronics, you're talking about the chat GPT, you're talking about the internet, you're talking about microchips. The 78 years old man who basically don't understand why you are happing this so much. He's going to be so angry with you because he's used to doing things the manual way. You know, so one of the requests of young people in this election was we needed a young man at Aso Villa, a man that will understand us, a man that will get our grievances, understand where we are coming from. And so the Accord Party had a very young guy who's 39 years old. At 39, he's already a professor. At 39, he is already a professor. So it was a good catch that the young people would have, you know, matured their energy and their strength along with. Because if we say we need change, like I said, the change that will affect us will become a change that becomes so uncomfortable to believe in a lie. Until a change becomes so uncomfortable to believe in a lie, we are not ready. We must understand that, we must agree. So the first political party that I want to talk about is the Accord Party. The Accord Party had Professor Christopher Imumole. I think he's a brother to one time, I think, Minister for Works or Minister for Labor. He's 39 years old, I beg your pardon, and he had very wonderful manifesto. And it was a shocker. That carrying over from the NSAS, young people could not rally around this young candidate. That's him on the screen. Very young, very vibrant. Understand the problem. Like I look at him here, everything. I mean, this guy will understand. He said for all, for everybody. You see his manifesto, his slogan, everything. But the young people failed him, disappointed him. And that brings me to ask us, do we really need a change? Or do we just need the presidency to come to our brother? Because when we say we need a change, we must understand what change is. Change is when you become so uncomfortable with the status quo that you are not ready again to live with a lie. That is when truth becomes visible. Until you perpetually, with everything in you, disagree with the lie that is a norm, you are not qualified for the truth. So, Professor Christopher was there for all of us, had wonderful manifesto to turn education around, turn the country around, our health sector, our welfare. He had digitalization, prosperity, electricity. Now, I know of people who left Nigeria to Ghana just because of electricity. I know, not one, not two, not three. In fact, a friend of mine had to move all his family away to Ghana, and he's doing wonderfully well after a very short period of time. Why? Because power is very important to building wealth in this century, in this age. You want to build wealth. There's nothing you will do today that you don't need power. Until NEPA come and cut your light, you will not understand what light means. He had wonderful. I went through his manifesto, and I couldn't understand why young people who said they needed change, who insulted everybody for not backing their candidate, could not back this guy. Both he and his vice presidential candidate were all young people. He did his campaign as much as he could. Because not forgetting that money is a factor when it comes to Nigerian politics. And so young people you don't have that deep pocket to actually drag the space. The years have ripped us of our hard-earned money, has looted our lives and our future, and built the life, their lives, their children's life, their baby mama's wife in foreign countries. So we needed someone like this, someone who will understand us. That one person, one of them, we had several of them, was Professor Christopher Imumole. Yes, his name was Imumole, and he was already a professor at 39. That is when I went through his manifestos. I went through his profile online. I said, wow, these people who had capacity. Now, let me tell you, Christians, something I want to say. I have read my Bible. There was nowhere where God wanted to save the children of Israel and then he had to use a Christian. I will say this. Engage me anywhere, except when they had to come back from Babylon. At first, when he wanted to bring them out of Egypt, he used Moses. Moses was a pagan. He had to bring him from his pagan worship and brushed him up. When he wanted to purge the children of Israel, he used Cyrus and Darius. These were all pagan kings. We need to really redirect our energy. So we had a court party. You see the young man on the screen, the video playing on the screen, and you see his vice presidential candidate. This was a very compact party, a party that was well organized, but they lacked the pockets. They lacked the pockets to push their agenda across the 36 states of Nigeria, and then FCT. They could not. So that's one. The second on our list is the AA, Action Alliance. That is the person whose photograph and video has been playing before we brought in the AA. His name is Major Hamza Al-Mustafa. He needs no introduction. Please, I'm trying to look for his video again. He needs no introduction. He was there for us during that is his picture, General Sani Abacha's time. Now, I listened to him when he went to the radio magazine program, Ebelembe, and he had a perfect plan for Nigeria. He had a perfect plan for Nigeria. Now, the reason why I basically didn't support his presidency, that is for me, and I believe that also goes for a whole lot of people, because I was among those who believe that power should shift from the north to the south. It was time for the south to have a taste. I understand what a whole lot of Nigerians will say, and let the best come up. Oh, some people say, oh, what of the UK? Someone told me that in the UK we have an Indian as prime minister. Someone said, oh, in America. And I tell them, we are not in America. We are in Nigeria. Right now in Nigeria, there must be a south-north dichotomy. There must be a way power can shift. Everybody must have a sense of responsibility and belonging. If not, it will not work. When we get to the point where we can see ourselves as Americans and as Britons, then things can naturally flow. You don't force things to flow. Things naturally flow. You don't ask water to flow. Water will find its level. When we get to that point, it will naturally just flow. So this is Major Hamza Al-Mustafa. He ran on the platform of Action Alliance, and he's very strong up north. His name, his name evokes a particular era. That was another thing that worked against his presidency. The era is not the one that is too palatable in the mouth of Nigerians, and that really worked against him. But then you look at his manifesto. The message he brought. He called his name said the man. The truth, which we need, because the truth is so expensive in Nigeria right now. We need a leader that can tell us the truth. Tell us the way it is. Let us understand you. So, Major, Mr. I don't know what to call him, Major Hamza Al-Mustafa, ran under the Action Alliance, and I listened to him when he came to different forums, but most especially when he came to Ebelembe radio magazine program in Abuja, and he talked beautifully well, charted a solution for Nigeria that I have not even thought of before. And whether I would have been given a chance or not, I for one felt power should shift to the south, and that for me was what worked against his presidency, and also for the fact that the era that he belonged to, where he was in power, he left a sore taste in the mouth of Nigerians. Then we move to the third political party we'll be talking about, which is the APP. The APP had Nnamdi Charles Osita. Nnamdi Charles Osita, a 49 years old man. And I'd like to put up his video. Nnamdi Charles Osita That is him on the screen. He's 49 years old, very handsome, very young, and he is from the southeast. You know, look, this guy. Let me just tell you one thing that amazes me about Osita. Didn't have to lie about the certificate. He told you that, look, what I have is SSE. That is what I have, and it was there on. It's because the constitution allows you, if you have SSE, to actually run for presidency in Nigeria. That's a fact. And so he put it there. But it was not, since I remember that for a particular candidate, people said, oh, it was not about the certificate. Oh, the person did not go beyond BA or BSc. It does not really matter. What we are talking about is capacity. Did he have no followers? Even from his enclave, the southeast, and nobody followed him. I didn't even hear of him until I started making research about him, you know. And so, Osita, now the Charles, it was great that you ran for presidency, for us to know that God placed someone like you that have great leadership skills amongst us as a people. So we'll be going quickly to the next one because we really hear so much about him during the election. So we don't have so much to say about him. And also, please don't forget, please share this video and please join us. The Ife Beast is an online TV, political TV that talks about and celebrates the genuineness and the diversity in Nigeria. So we'll be going to the next one, which is the AAC. Now, matters arising. The AAC. I just want to put up his video first before we start talking about him, because he's someone that needs no introduction. You know, there is a Nigerian politician that will become, we say, wahala, 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 wahala. That is the AAC. The AAC has been there. You see how, in fact, I have so many things to say about this guy. Omoyele Sowore. You see how handsome he looks. I do believe that it is time that we also have an handsome president. First thing first, you see the way he smiles. When he smiles, you know, and the people from Edo State, you understand, we agree with me that it is very good to have an handsome president. Having been through Oshomole's governorship and now Obaseki's governorship, you would appreciate a leader like this who comes to TV and then it seems like all your problems are gone. You see how he smiles, how handsome he look, and you will look at the style he's barbing. It's like a mohawk, and it's wonderful. But beyond this is very calm and handsome man is the real man, Omoyele Sowore. He is one of the people you can actually see and call wahala, 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 wahala. There is no leader in Nigeria that has not felt his fangs. He's a critic. He's an activist. I don't think there is any movement that he's not part of. Even before I knew what politics was, he has been there. And he's been in political circles for some time, running for elections in Nigeria. And is 52 years old. I am purposely saying all this so that when a Nigerian comes across to me and tell me, look, we need young people, we need a young man, as Bola Ahmed Tinubu is too old, I will tell him, look, go and check this video. You actually don't need a young man, you just needed your change. You know, now Sowore is 52 years old, and his vice presidential candidate is also a more younger man and an amazing character. You needed to see these two people talk and hear them talk, hear them reason. They epitomize the yearning of every young man in Nigeria. You need to hear them talk. Yet, this man had no followership, very few. Even the poster, in fact, I had to include this poster here, the Kano Mega Rally, it wasn't really much. It wasn't really much. Even with Imagashi, his VP there, people really didn't turn out. People really didn't turn out. This is the man, this is the solution. What we pray for, what we need, what we be yearning for. Nobody cared, nobody listened to them. So, I want to ask Nigerian youth, what is the color of your problem? I need to know because I still don't understand the color of your problem. So let's quickly move on to number um, 6, the African Democratic Congress. I need to put up his picture, the ADC. The ADC is still part of my problem with Nigeria youths. The ADC has one of the most youngest and charismatic candidates in this whole election. A young man, in all standard, is 52 years old. He's a brother to the GMD of, I think, the GMD of NNPC, Kachiku. I think he's the CEO of Roots TV. I think I read somewhere he's the CEO of Roots TV. A young man, dynamic character, handsome, and everything. Now, I will tell you the problem I have with his candidacy. It's just not because of anything. I like him as a person. I like the fact that he's a media mogul. I like the fact that he's young, he's 52, but he had a vice presidential candidate that bears the surname that I don't like. The surname of that guy. I think that guy ran for presidency before, 4 years back, ran for presidency before, and I just felt anybody that has that name, when Nigerians hear that name again, as you mention the B before you get to the U, I think we will be close to our villages. So there's him, Mohamed Buhari, and Dumebi Kachiku for president, the Action Congress. Now, with all the tools available to this young man, he had a tool of media, had some liquid cash with him, had some connections in government, yet young people did not rally around him. He is also from the south, I think from Delta, the Igbo-speaking part of Delta, I think, I want to believe, or Anambra, one of them. Either Anambra or I think Anambra is from Anambra. Young people did not rally around him. He couldn't move an inch. You didn't hear him. That's to tell you how difficult it is for you to actually work in Nigeria. For you to actually, you want to blame young people in a draconian setup like Nigerian politics. It's just not possible. Let me tell you, these are not broke guys. You say, oh, this guy is broke, how can he run for? No, these are millionaires. I dare say, he may even be a millionaire in dollars. Yes, but he could not move an inch. Now, let's not forget that ADC was a former deputy CBN deputy governor's party, Mogalu. This guy won Mogalu in his party. Yes, Kingsley Mogalu. This guy won Kingsley Mogalu in his party during the primaries, and yet you did not hear a whisper from him during the campaign to tell you how deep it is. Now, when young people say they need a change, I keep asking, what kind of change do you need? What kind of change? These are sellable candidates that we would have been able to rally around. Young people, one from the north, although I don't like his son. Let's not waste too much time on Kachiku. Let's go to our next candidate, which is the APC. I'm not going to spend too much time on the APC because we all know what has chanced over time. And just want to put up his video. The All Progressive Congress. And this is the president in waiting, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the former governor of Lagos, and the strong man of Bodilon. And this is his vice, Kashim Shettima, former governor of Borno State, running a 1-1 ticket. And then today were declared as president and vice president in waiting, and the return certificate already presented to them. It was one of the problem. Now, let me say something here. I like Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You go to my Facebook, you see that. I like. And to do strong and big things. You cannot say he does not have vision and dreams. You cannot say he cannot push forward. No. These are things you cannot say about these guys. These are men that are unique in the way they approach things. Now, he even came out to say that he talk less, he thinks more. That is why he delivers more. That is what he said by himself. That is the president himself, President Muhammadu Buhari, who believing his days in the Nassau Villa is gradually grinding to an end. He's been there for 8 years, and he will be handing over to, I think, I want to call him his friend. Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And one of the problem that young people had with him was that he supported Buhari's emergence. Yes, that he supported Buhari's emergence. Another problem they had with him was he was too rich. They said he was corrupt. Another problem they had with him was his age. They said he was too old. Now, all these I'm trying to look for the word, good excuses. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is old compared to the population of Nigeria. He was friend of Buhari, and Buhari has not done so well. But my excuse is why look, fellow Nigerians, I voted for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I don't hide it. I voted for him. And the reason I voted for him, I didn't work for APC, but I voted for Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Why I did that was the level of hatred and accusations was just too much. When you see a people gather to condemn one man that is basically better than them, follow that man. That is how I was brought up. Follow that man. There must be something unique about that man that is attracting so much hatred, so much animosity, so much, I don't know what to call it, prejudices against him. Too many things said. Someone said he wears pampers. Some people say he wee-wees on his body. Some people say he can't walk. There were some group who came out to say he said in Iloka, it's my turn, Nigeria is this, so very many things. And those early times, prelude to elections, spoke loud and clear to people like me. And I did say on my Facebook page that there is what we call the silent majority. When you choke the internet space in such a way that people cannot voice their opinion, people will naturally just go inwards and do what they want to do. Their PVC is theirs, their vote is theirs, and at the end of the day, you'll be surprised. Why? Because man has what is called ego. If you want me to live your dream, yes, if you want me to live your dream, you must be able to convince me enough that your dream can accommodate my own aspirations. Until that is done, I don't think I would want to live your dream. I have my dream. And for me, I feel as Asiwaju was going to give every young man in this country a wing to fly. Yes, I did say that. I said that. Yes, and I've said that in different forums because of what he did in Lagos. How he turned Lagos around. And when you mention that, they tell you, oh, what did he do in Lagos? And I tell you, what did he not do in Lagos? There is no state like Lagos in Nigeria. And that will remain so for quite some time, except maybe for some miracle. Oh, some people tell you, oh, it was once federal capital. I tell them, it is not easy to step into a big man's shoes. He could have gone to Lagos and messed Lagos up. Taking projects from one point to another requires a whole lot of method. And that is why it is not what a leader does, it is who succeeds a leader that matters. Because if somebody who doesn't know the ideology and aspiration of a leader succeed a leader, before some time, they will mess up what the leader has done, and then the leader, what he has done becomes. The reason why we can remember people like Marwa today, we can remember people like Jokonde today, is because of what Tinubu came to do. If you had come to Lagos to mess all they did up, today you won't be calling those people. You look at Lagos, you hiss. So, People voted Ahmed Ashwaju into power. By the grace of God, is our president in waiting today, and I am happy. I am happy, and I believe he will do wonders. So please, let's move on from Ashwaju and go to number 8, the All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA. I have so much to say about APGA and the presidential candidate, Professor Umeadi. Let me look for his video and bring up. He is a man of timber and caliber, as we'll call it in Nigeria. But sadly, another sad thing that will make me to ask people, what do you really want? This is Professor Umeadi, is 68 years old, had wonderful plans for Nigeria if he becomes president. I know he's a bit on the age side, he's a grandfather, but he had capacity. And so we know that APGA before now basically supports the PDP in the center, but now they had their presidential candidates, and he's a professor, a dynamic man, a man with capacity, a professor, a professor of years, but he had no followership. Even in the East, go and look at electoral results in the East. You see very few people. I don't know, because I know that LP cleared, I think even 97-98% of all the votes in the East. So even in his enclave, Anambra, where you have a sitting governor of APGA, yet he could not do anything. He could not do anything. So we need to begin to diffuse the myth, because, in fact, I am coming to that. Let's quickly go to the next, which is the APM, the Allied People's Movement. The Allied People's Movement. The Allied People's Movement had, this is their presidential candidate. His name is Yusuf Maman Dantale, 52. I think he's also running for governorship now. I think he's running for governorship in Kogi State. I think he's running for governorship in Kogi State. Yes, Dantale ran for APM. Now, one unique thing about APM is they had cassava as their. Why do political parties always have either cassava, cork, or yam, or beans, or agbado, or as totem on their logos? I want to know. I don't know. I mean, APGA has a totem, cork. Some will have broom. You don't have things like AI. You don't have things like maybe philosophical or ideological things. Things like mega electronics, like spaceship. Like robots. As you as your totem, you put Gary, you put. So I think next election, it's very strategic. These people, they had cassava. Even if I want to vote before, I won't vote for cassava. The model of Gary is 200 naira or 250 naira in the market. So, but then Iran is 52 years old, and we know how the election went. I don't think I saw him. But one party I want to talk about is the Boot Party. The Boot Party epitomizes youthfulness in everything they were doing. This is it. In fact, even their logo is a boot. Their logo is a boot. They want to boot out. In fact, they want to boot out a whole lot of things: corruption. They want to boot out nepotism, ethnicity, all of that. And they had a very young, not so young anyway, not so young. I think he's 59 or something. Adenuga Sunday Oluwafemi as their presidential candidate, and another very young man, Usman Mustafa, as their vice presidential candidate. And then they had very wonderful manifesto. Very wonderful manifesto. They had very wonderful manifesto that we would have been able to rally around as Nigerians. But classic Nigeria. You know what? That is what I have been saying. It has been what I have been saying. That we Nigerians. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We seem to have a problem. We seem to have a problem. So. The boot party. Now, also, couldn't do so much. They could not be heard so much because the land space is big, the population is big. How many people will hear you? And there's another thing I will say after this. I've finished reeling down the whole party. Let me just quickly run through them. Number 11, we had the Labour Party. Now, the Labour Party. We can't spend one full year talking about the Labour Party and their presidential candidate, Peter Obi. I did say a little about him when I just started this stream, and then I feel he is a material anytime, any day. He's a material anytime, any day. He's someone that should be in government. Nigeria still has so much to get from him, but he ran against Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and that is his photograph. You see, a very quiet, calm, and collected man. And then he had the Yusuf Dati Babhamed, owner of the Bayes University, for vice president. This was a very compact team, you know. And then you need to even see when you see the logo, their campaign posters, and the way the guy released out statistics, you understand that this is not just a mere man. This is a man that is calculated, a man that is focused, a leadership material, someone that we should follow. And no wonder a whole lot of youths followed him. It was a massive movement. I didn't even know that it is possible to have such movement among Nigerian youths, the way the NP gathered people, gathered movement sympathizers, or whatever you want to call them, however you want to call them. It was an eye-opener for a whole lot of politicians. I mean, as a politician, I pray God labor does not happen to you. And the tsunami it caused in the East, you know, both the rep House of Assembly, the State House of Assembly, the rep and Senate, you know, sitting governors losing the normal ritual of having finished your governorship, you go and rest in the Senate. No, now they all lost. Senate, rep, the same thing. It goes for a whole lot, you know, because the man Obi symbolizes a whole lot of things. See, now please, Nigerians, don't crucify me. As much as Obi epitomized a new Nigeria, a reinvigorated Nigeria, a lot of people saw him as an answer to all this. But I saw Obi as someone who was too desperate to become president. I felt he was too desperate. If not, I mean, a leader that I will follow will be a leader who has really, over the years, has been able to withstand pressure, not to abandon ship. He's abandoned ship too much for me. He's abandoned ship too much. He may be very knowledgeable, but there are more things I look in a leader than just the statistics and the knowledge. And also, I also felt he didn't do enough in Anambra when he was governor before. Because if you want to tell me you're going to change this country, you must have changed something before. And as far as I'm concerned, like I've told so very many people, Anambra was not, it's still yet not a job destination. He left it just when he met it. So for me, it was like that. And I said this, it was my opinion. This is my opinion. But that does not take from the fact that I don't respect Obi. Obi is a leadership material anytime, any day. But he was running against an Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu, who I felt has done more to become president. You know, more than him when you put them side by side. The trajectories of his career, both in a private sector and now in the public sector, as being politicians, I felt he's done much. He's done more than him. By the virtue of what they were able to give as governors, and even in their private life. And so that was why I opted to actually did my vote for Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu, and I would want to beg Obi to join Asiwaju government. It is huge to ask, but Nigerians need your expertise. You are a manager. Yes, Obi is a manager anytime, any day. Take it from me, take it from him. It is, take that to the bank. You will understand that Nigeria is a unique place. But when you have a president, a governor that was able to leave a gigantic amount of money in a state's purse, man, that's something that has been unheard of. In fact, some will even borrow money a night to the day they are leaving governorship and share it. But this man left huge money. That takes a level of love for the state. So I would want to see Anubi for now as maybe a CBN governor, and then build tentacles across the country, or maybe as a minister for finance. I think that can be done. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is someone who listens to reasonable and superior arguments. That can be done. Obi can be in this government, and I feel he should be in the government if he loves Nigeria the way he said he loves Nigeria. Please, Mr. Peter Obi, if you watch this stream, please. We want you to be in Asiwaju's government. We want you to be at the CBN governor, or maybe the Minister for Finance, and that is me speaking. And if you want to really be, we can start that movement to ensure that you are in this government. We love you. We love you. We are happy you ran for president. Even if you didn't win, we win. You can still rerun. You're 61 or 62 years old, and the constitution still allows you to rerun. So that is it. Please, let's move on. Then the next on my list is the NROM. The NROM was okay. That's the party for Osakwe Felix Johnson. Let me look for their video and bring it up. The NROM was another party that it shocked me that it couldn't do much. Couldn't do much. And that is them, the NROM. Yes, that's the NROM. Now, from just seeing it, you find that they had an idea. There's an ideology. They're like a gadfly. You see the totem of their logo is the bee. To prick the conscience of Nigerians and have a national rebirth and a national conscientization. We need this. We need to awake. We need to awake from our slumber, and then begin to reason things the way it should be done. It is very important. It is very important. So the NROM was one party that got it right, but at the end of the day, they couldn't do so much during elections. They had Osakwe Felix Johnson as a presidential candidate, who himself is about 50-something years old. I like this guy because he's always on three-piece suit. His jacket is very fine. At least one presidential candidate will not be wearing a up and down and suit. You can wear this suit to the League of Nations, to the United Nations. Okay, he's an Abada here. Okay, but you need to see this guy's suit. It was wonderful. So I will move very quickly to one party that I was very close to during the campaign, which is the New Nigerian People's Party, the NNPP. I was with them. I was very close to them during the campaigns. Actually, there is something I want to say about NNPP in these. Yes, that's NNPP. Like I said before, the totem was also fruits. That is my leader, Rabiu Musa Konkoso, engineer. Now, this guy is the most educated out of all the candidates. He's the most educated out of all the candidates. He has a doctorate in marine engineering. That was no joke. And then he had for vice presidency, a very handsome vice presidency, Bishop Idausa, who has his church, I think the Illumination Assembly in the Lekki area of Lagos. For their own banner, they had the logo, they had the fruits, they had the pineapple, and lots of them as their totem. Now, even when I was following him, I told people I don't believe he was going to win. He is trying to soften the ground and sell himself across the country and get ready for maybe the next 4 years or the next 8 years, when it will be very visible that power has to go back to the north. Well, before you know it's 8 years. When did Buhari come? Today he's leaving. So I worked with him, and then, but I voted Ashwaju because that was where my conscience lied. So this is my leader anytime, any day, and I love you, and I love your vice presidency, so and so. He's a pastor. It was a very balanced equation. One of those I forgot before when I said I was trying to reel out the problems that people had with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Was one of the big problems was the Muslim ticket. It is okay to excuse him, but it does not change the fact that it was a Muslim ticket. You excuse him because Islam is a minority religion in the south, and taking a Christianity that is a minority religion in the north will be a very weak ticket. So he went for a Muslim ticket, and today I think they are happy they did, and some Nigerians were able to see through their reasons and then back them. My leader, NNPP, Engineer Major Rabi Musa Konkoso, took a pastor as his VP, and a pastor that is on fire, the Dausa, it's on fire. So please, let's move on to the People's Democratic Party, the PDP. I want to call them one of the big problems in this election. They were the one who unbalanced the equation. They were the ones who unbalanced the equation, and I am basically not even happy with them. I'm not happy with them because at the end of the day, they made the ground very soft for the APC to emerge. This is the PDP. The Waziri himself, Laji Atiku Abubakar, and his VP, the governor of Delta State. Delta State is very close to my heart. It's a place where I have stayed, where I schooled, and where I got married. The Waziri, by all calculation, shouldn't be part of this election. Yes, should vote, should support a candidate, but should not have run for election. Because you are not the only one running for election. It's not just a party that's running for election. You had other parties planning for 8 years. Parties have started planning now for the next 4 years, for the next 8 years. And then at a point where emphasis is being laid on the younger candidate, you just came and blew every other person off the ground, and then you emerged as the candidate. What were you expecting? That Nigerians are stupid enough to still run and vote for you? No. Nigerians need younger politicians. That was the emphasis. But then you made it very... I mean, if PDP had someone like a Peter Obi or someone like Yesom Wike, you see, a whole lot of us who had to queue behind the APC would have had a second thought. So you made it very easy for the APC, and then they coasted to victory. And we will also be doing something on the equation, the fact that the APC didn't win in Abuja. So we will be doing something on that very soon. And then, although it's before the courts, we may also want the courts to have their own say. And after their own say, we may want to do something on it. But for now, it was this particular error, the wrong candidacy in PDP, that helped the APC coast to victory very easily. Now let's move on to the PROP, the People's Redemption Party, where you had in fact, let me bring this face so that you can judge for yourself, a face from a face. Let me call him a face from a face because it's a face that basically came from a face that we know. They are totem, they are the key. They are key, any kind of key you want. Red key, blue key, yellow key. This is his face. Now this reminds us of the 1990s, of the botched 1991 election of MKO Abiola, and this is his son, Kola Abiola, and it is a great thing and a big thing that is following in the footsteps of his father. Yeah, his father may not have been inaugurated as president. That does not mean he didn't win. He was robbed of that presidency, and today his son ran for presidency. Kola Abiola is a young man, very young, that we would have queued behind, but then still the Nigerian factor. We need something that we don't know how to get. You know, we had a lot of young people who ran for this election who couldn't even get attention. He had another guy, Zego Haruna, as VP, extremely young and heralded guy. You need to hear this guy talk. You know, you need to hear this guy talk. You know, and then you see the way he's smiling. It was this smile for him. You know, the way he smiles. You know, smiles with everything in him. And when he talks with everything in him. But the way he smiles, you know, when he smiles, as if my problem is gone. You know, and and for the fact that he's MKO's son, we needed to listen to him. But then that wasn't the case. Well, quickly let's move on to the SDP. Another guy, Prince Adewale Adebayo. You needed to listen to the SDP. SDP, just like their logo was, where they had the running horse. This horse can take you anywhere. This horse on SDP logo can take Nigeria. This is their presidential candidate, very handsome and then erudite fellow, someone who can dissect Nigeria's problem and provide solutions within a very little short time. You need to hear this guy. Yes, this is it. And then on their logo, they had a horse, a stallion, a white stallion. That is on their logo. You see the white stallion there? Yes, you see the white stallion on their logo. And then that white stallion can take Nigeria anywhere. That white stallion is ready to take Nigeria from this our third world country to first world country. All we needed to do was to believe on this guy, and then Nigeria would have been on a path to progress, peace, and security. And then he talked about security so much in his talk. You need to hear him when he at different fora, on TV stations that he visited, even on Embelembe. You need to hear him, and you understand that when you hear this guy without seeing him, you imagine, who is this guy? In fact, the first time I heard him, I said, who is this guy? The way he talks, he has an in-depth understanding of Nigeria's problem. So when we said we needed a change, God provided us alternatives. God provided us with probabilities, different kind. And all we needed was to do was to have. I would not have been angry at Nigerian youth if you had a lot of young people queuing up behind young people. And maybe at the end of the day they didn't win, you know, but we queued behind them. I wouldn't have been angry. But the fact is, we didn't even queue behind any of them. We went to those that we said we hated and we don't need them. Those were the ones we queued behind. We queued behind the PDPs, the APCs, the LPs. These are people who've been in government, people who've frustrated our lives, people who've sold us, and and we queued behind them, and then we made excuses for them, and then we create enmities because of them, and broke friendship and trust because of them. Meanwhile, the ones we really needed are these ones who've not been in government at all. They've not tasted government. They don't understand what government is. They are just coming from outside. Those were the independent candidates, not the ones, because the ones we try to make excuses for have held one form of government positions or the other, elective government positions or the other. Go and check. Is it Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been a governor before? Peter Obi has been a governor before. What was his name? The Waziri has been vice president before. The one I ran with, Kwankwaso, has been a governor before. So it's been like that. That is the people we queued behind, people we argued for. And for me, that wasn't change. I needed to look at these candidates critically and choose the one I feel was better among all of them. So please, let's move forward to the YPP. The YPP, that's the Young People's Party. I am emphasizing this because that has been something that we've been mounting and been pushing. Personally, I think I need to be a member of this party, YPP, before I cross the age of being called a young man. Yes, uh, they had for presidential candidate Prince Malik Hado Ibrahim, a very young man, and had also as his vice president someone. I don't know why their logo look like Bet Nanja, the Reset Nanja. They said it looks like Bet Nanja logo. You see it. And then you see these two guys. They were ready. Ado Ibrahim and his vice president is actually from the east. And they were ready to take Nigeria to greater heights and ensure that what we yearn for as young people would have been able to be accomplished by these two guys, because the thought pattern would not be too different. What I need and what he needs will not be too different. His name is Kasarashi Eyina. Eyina. I don't call Eyina. Yeah, I have a friend who's called Eyina. Eyina. A very handsome guy. Look at him, look at his smile behind his principal, and this is beautiful. And so that was for the Young People's Party, a great party that basically is for young people. Let me just put it like that. And then lastly on my list, we had the Zenith Labour Party, which is the ZLP. That's you see down there. He was once associated with the LP. So that's the ZLP. I think this party, close election, was collapsed into the Labour Party itself or something like that. I think I heard something like that. So these were the parties we had in this election. And so when we complain about leadership, I don't want to, I know, because young people, we like to complain. That is what we do. We just like to complain. So when you are complaining next time, you go and see this video, you understand that we don't have a problem of leadership. We have a problem of followership. You understand? Because when you talk about leadership, it means these guys are not there. It means we don't have them. God didn't create people like that. God, who created us, created leadership amongst us. That is the truth. But we ourselves use our hand to choose a leader that will kill us. That is what we've done over time. We select leaders. The reasons why we select leaders in this country is out of the main reasons why we should be electing leaders. We select a leader because it's from our political zone, because it's from our state, or because he's a tribesman, he speaks out. A whole lot of reasons why we should not choose leaders. These are the reasons why we choose leaders. Because if you want to argue it to the east, to the west, Peter Obi got 90 of votership from his enclave, from the southeast. Better than every other candidate on display. As well, you didn't get that from his. And I think PDP even won the state from the southeast, from the southwest. So you see that we elect leaders based on every sentiment, devoid of the reason why we should be electing leadership. So I want us to go through this video and then listen to what we've said. We may not have said the right thing. Please, if there's anything you feel that we said we shouldn't have said, please let us know. We will definitely correct it in our next podcast. And then I'm very glad that you were able to spend your time with me on this podcast, and I am grateful to you. But please subscribe to this channel, share our videos, and together let us build a nation that we will be proud of, and let us join hand with the president in waiting, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to build this nation. And please, I want you to mark this channel down. We will be talking about how the cabinet of the presidency should be formed. That is what we should be doing as young people. Serve as opinion poll. Let him come and listen to us and say, okay, this is what these people really want, and this is what we should be doing for them. That's what I was talking about Obi just now. I think Obi should be part of this government. I believe Obi can do wonders in this government with the brains of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, coupled with the purposefulness of Obi. I think Nigeria can turn into a Paris, a London, or a Washington overnight. And before I come your way again next week, please share this video, subscribe to our channel, put on YouTube, and follow us on Facebook. And together we will build this nation. And from me to you, it is bye. Thank you.